How's it going, everyone? Here's another helmet I did for APDesigns. It's for a monster athlete. He's a BMX guy. His name is Andy BUCKWORTH. I've done a series of three of Andy's pet, his little pet dog. I've done other helmets for him, but they were different designs. But this one, he did three in a row of his little guy here. Doing a portrait for somebody, doing a portrait of their pet, it's just like doing a portrait of their child. You gotta try and get it right. But they're a lot of fun to do. They're difficult, but it's fun. It's a lot of fun to try and get them, try to capture the essence of their little friend. Painting on helmets isn't the same as working on a flat surface. Sometimes it's hard to get perspective right. Some helmets are concave and convex. There's a lot of obstacles to deal with. Not to mention the vents that are right in the way most of the time. But you get around it, you figure it out. You do so many of these helmets, you get an idea, a sense of where to put your piece. Just make sure that the main part of it isn't going to be where there's going to be a crevice or a vent, that's going to be completely destroy your idea, your design that you want to really put on it. I like doing these little shells. They're like a skateboard helmet. BMXers use them, skateboarders. Usually there's not a whole lot of vents. So you got, and there's not a lot of kind of contours, like a fairing has. Yeah, these helmets are as close as you can get to a flat surface. They're pretty straightforward. They got a curve. You can pretty much keep your perspectives. It's almost like looking on a flat surface on a surface like this. It's not too bad. Now when I'm cutting into these, I like a sharp razor blade, but not too sharp. If they're too sharp, they don't seem to flow real nice. They seem to get caught up into the plastic a little bit, so they get caught up and you can't get a real clean cut when it starts getting caught up into this plastic. These shell helmets, they're a little bit different than the motocross helmets. The motocross helmets, most of them are fiberglass, so they cut through. When you have to cut out the design, it's a little easier because your razor blade flows pretty good. But these skateboard type helmets, these BMX helmets, are a different material. They're a plastic, and they're formed in a machine. So when you do cut into them, you try not to cut too deep into the tape. You don't want to cut too deep into the material of the helmet. What you try to do is you want your razor blade to flow real nice like your pencil does. Okay, started airbrushing. You can't see it too well on the film, but the way the angle of the light, how it hits it, I can see the lines that were made by the razor blade, so I know where to apply the paint. So I do have, I think I have my laptop or my iPad sitting there so I can kind of see the photographs that I pasted together. So that's what I'm looking at periodically to get an idea where the dark and lights are on this thing. Okay, I'm starting to put the little bit of the curl in the ears. I think this dog is part Cocker Spaniel. So he's got kind of wavy hair, wavy fur. The first two colors I applied, I put the lighter color on, and I just get an impression of where the highlights are on this piece, and then I put the little bit darker color. But now, and then when I was putting the little curls on the ears, that's the medium color. So I try to cover the whole thing up with the medium color. I'll cover the whole thing, make sure that there's paint covering the whole piece. So now I'm throwing in more highlights right here on top of his head. So now that I've got the whole thing covered, I start applying, I probably used 5 different colors on this. You know, I got like a beige and some kind of browns. Right now, it looks like I got a root beer candy I'm going over it with. And I like to use those candies. It gives it a lot of depth. Once I start putting the details into it and then I cover it with the candies, it really brings out the detail that I just applied, and the candies just really makes the design pop. So I've got enough airbrushing on it. I'll go back with the airbrush again, but now it's time for some brush work. So I'm going to go in there and do some detail, get some really fine hairs in there, do his eyes, his nose, and his ears. Well, actually, I'll do the whole, all over the place. There's just little fine detail all over the place. I like to use Createx. They're nice and opaque, and they work really well. I really like how they work. So I always they mix well with other acrylics as well. Now I'm going in for a nice contrast, putting in the highlights, putting in the little hairs here on the edge, and now it's starting to really come to life. Now it's really coming alive. It's really starting to look like his dog. And once I get this this lightest color, I think this is the lightest hue I put in there. I might come in there. I can't remember if I went in there with a little bit of white as well. This is kind of an off-white, like a beigey cream color. I might have come in with a little bit of white just to really bring out the highlights. And then I don't think I filmed it, but I went in there with a little bit of dark as well, gave it a little more shadow. And then I went in with the darker candy and really punched it up. But here's the final product once they cleared it. The whole thing gets cleared with a real high gloss, and then they put, as you can see, the kangaroo, they put a stencil there, or not a stencil, but like a little sticker, and then they spray it matte with a matte clear to cover the whole helmet. But there it is, the finished product. I hope you like it, and thanks for watching. See you next time.